Whether it was full-colored maps, cheat codes, specific help, or comics, Nintendo Power had you covered. I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at each issue and see what scores they came up with. Join me as we take a look back.
Your Nintendo Power is here!
This is no dream.
Welcome, programs! This time, our favorite pair of chipmunks, Chip and Dale, are the cover boys featuring their debut on the NES. Rescue Rangers is an excellent game, one of the premier two-player co-op platformers, and I always liked games that had you playing as small characters in a giant world. World 4 and Super Mario Bros. 3, Monster in My Pocket are nice examples of that. It's just great. There's a good helping of coverage in NP this month with wonderful maps that would put most strategy guys to shame, if you know, they still made them. The Rangers aren't the only stars covered. There's other great ones like the Moffat Conspiracy, Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge, the tricky action puzzle game Solstice, continuing coverage of Crystallis, and an incredible 14-page spread dedicated to the various areas of Final Fantasy. Look at that world map. Wow! In Player's Pulse, we hear from John McCarth Jr., whose family returned to their home after a vacation to find it destroyed. Hurricane Hugo had struck, and in the mess they recovered their NES and games. Staying in an apartment for months, their only entertainment was playing their Nintendo games. Wow, that's a rough one. I wouldn't even know where to begin had we lost all our home, and belongings. In the video spotlight, this uninterested Rugrat is named Jonathan Sofrida, a 6-year-old punk kid that claims to have beaten Zelda 1, Bubble Bobble, Simon's Quest, what? How do you figure out the whirlwind part? Mega Man 2, Wizards and Warriors, Metroid, Three Stooges, that game sucks, and Life Force? At 6, this kid beat Life Force. I was 12 the first time I played it, and I couldn't get out of the first stage. And I had beaten games like Punch-Out, Contra, Zelda 2. No way did he beat Life Force. There's no absolute way.
And I almost beat Mega Turtle at the end of level 3.
This month, we get a report from CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. There's big-time announcements coming to the NES like the radical TMNT 2, the arcade game, Dr. Mario, Mega Man 3, Deja Vu, as well as Bart vs. the Space Mutants, because that would turn out to be awesome. Let's not forget the Game Boy. Double Dragon makes its handheld debut here, along with carts such as Wizards and Warriors X, not a bad game, Final Fantasy Legend, which is awesome, Spider-Man, not great, and Paperboy, pretty good. A decent to very good lineup here, and you can see that this handheld is exploding not only in popularity, but content. In Counselor's Corner, we have an abundance of hefty, heavyweight, helpful hints to secure sweet success. Like where to find the Silver Orb in Shadowgate, how to defeat the Salamander and the magic of Scheherazade, and tips on how to beat the super tough boss Firebug in Batman. Classified Information has some good cheats this time. There's a super helpful continue codes in Double Dragon 2 The Revenge. The big one this issue being the 10 life code in Super C, which is always a lifesaver. A nice stage select code in Astyanax, and some hidden passages revealed in the underrated Burai Fighter 2.
You know nothing, little man.
Never mind that shit. Here comes
Nestor.
Howard and Nestor time, the boys bump into Mad Dog and Scorpion from Super C as they try to make it up a mountain. Nestor ends up with fleas. Stupid Nestor. I can't believe this is our first poster talk, but our poster this month is of Trevor Belmont from Castlevania 3. He's wondering if you should step into Castlevania. Pretty sweet poster. Anybody have this bad boy up in their game room? And in our top 30 NES games, Super Mario 3 is the big cheese again with another first place finish. Batman moves up to the number 2 place, while Super Mario 2 makes a comeback and gets the 3rd spot. This really is a stack list of some of the all-time greatest hits on the Nintendo console. Wait a minute. Fester's Quest? Sneaks at number 30? That game sucks!
If it makes you feel any better, Gambit.
I go in like this, huh?
And now it's review time. We have a lot to get through, 28 games to be exact, so let's get cracking. With Chip and Dale, Capcom kept their momentum of incredible games going like a tsunami, and they would only get better with time. Our favorite twin-tune combo nabs an impressive score of 16, and that sits very well with me. Maybe half a point higher for the music. It's good, so good. You don't hear a lot of love for Metal Gear 2 on the NES. It's vastly superior to the original in almost every way, except that brutal password system. Yeesh. Still, Solid Snake sneaks a 15.5 for Ultra, and that's cool by me. They don't get as cryptic or puzzling than Solstice. I really enjoyed my time playing it. It's fun exploring the dungeon for the magical stat pieces, but it's no cakewalk for those without a guide. 14.5 works. Good score. This is one of the biggest releases of 1990, and it's no cakewalk. Castlevania 3 is the hardest of the NES trilogy, and it's quite the epic. Multiple paths, different side characters and endings depending on who you bring with you. It's so damn good. It's one of the very best games on the NES, and NP thought so too with an incredible score of 17. Bravo! I love Maniac Mansion. It's a point-and-click masterpiece with really weird and strange characters. Solving the riddles and mysteries of the mansion is just part of the fun, and a 15 is perfect. There's something missing about Mission Impossible. The graphics are good, so is the music. The controls are tight and responsive. It's just lacking that X factor because on paper this is an excellent Konami game. A 14, not too shabby. You don't hear a lot of love for Captain Skyhawk these days, but it's a nice arcade-style shooting game with some interesting gameplay to boot. A decent score by the incredible Rare Company. Say it with me. It's baseball. NPs seem to love Spot, but a game of Othello with a 7-Up mascot slapped on? Nah, not my cup of tea, or soda. It pains me that Dragon Spirit scored a 13.5. This is one of the very best and awesome shoot-em-ups on the console. Nintendo Power should be ashamed of themselves for giving that low of a score. But that doesn't surprise me because reviewers of this era didn't give much leeway to this genre. Dungeon Magic is a clunky mess of a first-person dungeon crawler. Dungeon crawlers have quickly become my go-to as of late, but this game scored a bit too high, maybe a 12 methinks. A 13.5 for essentially a bunch of minigames. Could have been lower in my opinion. A rare Capcom Disney miss. If you like the original Rad Racer, then the sequel is more of the same. I actually like this game a lot, but NP were way too harsh on this racer. Speaking of which, don't let the Mario and Andretti license fool you. This is basically Rad Racer 3. Except you actually have to make pit stops and refuel, change your tires, that kind of stuff. Also, the game has a straight up banger of a soundtrack too. Check it out sometime. Now talk about a solid first-person dungeon crawler, where Dungeon Magic drops the ball, Wizardry picks it up and runs with it. It's no looker by any stretch, but it's a fast game of rolling up characters, delving deep for treasure. But make no mistake, this game is brutal, but it rewards the patient. Are you patient? Huh? Honestly, this game isn't anything special to me. Very simple top-down action game that I haven't played a whole lot, but I wasn't impressed with what I did, so there's that. Yeesh, an 11.5 for Pinball Quest? It's really not a bad game, a little frustrating at times, especially if you drain the ball constantly and have to replay various levels, but there's a lot of fun to be had here, and it's a pinball RPG, what's not to love? Greed is good. This cart isn't. Whoa, Green the Cube Man took a nasty dive off the half pipe and crunched my gnarlies, alright? Not a bad little action puzzler, quite addictive, doesn't look all that great, but an 11.5, that's a little too harsh. Again, say it with me. It's baseball. Seeing your chess pieces fighting to the death is cool, but good lord is this game way too... I'll take mediocrity for 200, Alex. The best thing about Pictionary is its soundtrack, that is all. Not a bad little two-player shoot-'em-up, but it doesn't come close to games like Gradius, Life Force, or Dragon Spirit. Like Silkworm, Image Fight isn't that spectacular of a shoot-'em-up. 11.5 is right on the money. Wow, NP did not like Last Starfighter. At a 9.5, this is one of the worst and lowest scored games yet. Ooh boy. Mechanized Attack is a decent zapper gun game, but really, you'll have more fun blowing away human scum with Wild Gunmen or Operation Wolf. There you have it. Castlevania 3 scores a tremendous win with an incredible score of 17. Chip and Dale and Snake's Revenge take the next two top spots, while the clutter continues to pile up towards the bottom, with the Last Starfighter reaching below double digits. Ooh, that's rough. Stay tuned because next time we tackle issue number 15 and... Wait, what? Huh? What's that? Another strategy guide? Again? Right, so it turns out that issue 15 of Nintendo Power is another strategy guide like Super Mario Bros. 3, but this time for the excellent Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos. It goes over the entire game, plus some other fun bits too to pad out the rest of the mag, but since it's only focusing on that game, we'll be skipping it. Are we back? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Next time is Nintendo Power issue number 16. We have monster hits to cover like Maniac Mansion, Little Nemo, Narc, and Gilligan's Island? Nah, just kidding. It's Ninja Turtles 2.
A little, Primatine might just help to clear that up there.
So how do you think he does it?
Beats me.
Where'd he learn that trick? He always knows what games to